I'm going to teach you how to seduce a man, how to make him fall head over heels in love with you, how to turn him on, how to make him see you as irresistible. Here we go. I am Zach Rohde, and I am here to lead you into creating the relationship of your dreams with a man by learning how to inspire him by shifting into your feminine energy and using feminine communication. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, make sure that you do that below. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you know when my future videos come out, and be sure to like this video because I'm going to make it as informative and fun as possible for you. All right, so seducing a man, seduction 101. What do you have to do? All right, so I'm not going to give you a big list of tricks and tips to turn a man on. What most women think of as seduction is actually energetically masculine. And I am not teaching women how to become more masculine, how to be more of a man energetically. Now, this may surprise you, but if we look at something like stripping, right? Being a stripper, you might think they are very seductive. They know how to turn on a man, how to get him really going, how to make him fall in love with her. Here's the problem. Strippers are energetically masculine. Now, that might be hard to believe when you're looking at them. It's like, ooh, the way their hips are moving and, their bodies, like, it all seems very feminine. Yeah, so what that is a femininity costume. I talk a lot about femininity costumes in our academy program with our students, because when you're learning how to use feminine communication, it's very easy to use the communication with a masculine energy, which means an energy where you're trying to get an outcome. And if you do that, you're not actually healing. You're not actually becoming more feminine. You are building a femininity costume over yourself to try to get outcomes. And that will work to an extent, right? Like, especially with really emasculated men. And by the way, pretty much all men who go to strip clubs are relatively quite emasculated. Most are actually very much in their feminine energy. And men who are more emasculated, men who are more feminine, they will be attracted to women with femininity costumes, women who are using this masculine energy to seduce them. But like me, for example, I don't go to strip clubs. I never have. I don't really, they just seem dumb to me. This is way before I got married. But I wouldn't be turned on by that, because I'm not turned on by a woman who is in her masculine energy. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm turned on by a woman who is in her feminine energy, which is naturally seductive without her trying to do anything at all. Okay? And I am assuming that you want, if you're single, I'm assuming that you want to attract a masculine man, a man whose masculine instincts are really online, so that you can activate those instincts and he'll be inspired to take care of you and lead you, protect you, do all the stuff that a man is supposed to do. The more emasculated, the more feminine that a man is, the less of that he's going to be doing. And he's actually looking for a mother. Might be a mother who's also seductive and like a stripper, but he's not looking for what you really need, which is, a woman to take care of, essentially. So you can throw your tips and tricks in the garbage. I don't do those kind of videos. I'm going to teach you how to be more feminine and inspire that attraction and that hot desire for you without you trying to do anything at all. Okay? A masculine man, dominant man, the kind of man that you want, or the kind of man that you want to inspire your man to be if you're in a relationship already. That kind of man is turned on both just through inspiration, like to take care of you, but also sexually. He is turned on by your heart, first and foremost. So you're not going to be attracting him with your body so much. I mean, that's nice too, and your sensuality and everything. You're going to be attracting him and turning him on with your heart. It's your heart, which means your feelings, which means your sadness. It means your anxiety. It means your joy and your horniness and your guilt and your shame, and all of your feelings are actually a turn on to a masculine man. That can be a really difficult thing for a lot of women to receive, especially if you have tried sharing your feelings before with a man and you didn't get a very good response, right? Certainly didn't turn him on. Might have really turned him off and made him close off and withdraw and everything, especially if those feelings were about him in some kind of way and they were negative feelings. There's a reason why, okay? This is why I teach women feminine communication. It's because women are communicating their feelings as well as everything else in a way that's actually pushing a man away instead of drawing them in, instead of turning them on, instead of inspiring them. This is what I teach in my academy program. This is what I teach in my masterclass. This is what I teach in my women's dating course. This is what I teach in my free webinar, right? You can learn how to do this. And the best part about it is, instead of it putting you in your head and like you're learning tactics and all this stuff, you're actually connecting more to yourself. You're learning how to turn yourself on. You're learning how to get more connected to your joy, to your authentic energy, learning how to just let go, learning how to just be. So you're doing it for you, but it happens to just also turn on a man without you even trying to do anything. Now, I'm going to give one example which might help you see a little bit about what I'm talking about, because many women can relate to this. Have you ever been really sad with a man and you opened up and you cried and it turned him on and he wanted to have sex with you? This is kind of like a running joke, and it's something where men are often kind of demonized as like just sex hungry and everything, like taking advantage of a vulnerable woman. But there's a reason that this happens. It's like a woman's vulnerability, when she opens up her heart to a man in the right way. There's many ways to do it where you're not actually truly open, you're not actually truly vulnerable. It turns a man on because he can feel your heart. And it's your heart, it's your feelings that activate a man. Okay? And those feelings can even be about him oftentimes. Right? It's not just that you're sad that your cat died or something. You're sad because you're like experiencing loneliness and stuff because you're not spending enough time with him or something, right? You can share all that in a way where you're blaming or judging, or you're in some kind of self-pity story, and that's not going to turn him on. That's actually going to make him feel this icky feeling. It's like disgust, actually. It'll actually make him want to withdraw more than anything to get away from you. And you might have experienced that as well. And if you've experienced that before, it's going to be even more difficult to really open up your heart and be vulnerable because you're afraid of that kind of reaction. But if you do it right, if you learn how to truly be vulnerable in an authentic, beautiful way, it's going to activate him. It is going to turn him on. That is all you need to do. I'm not just talking about sharing your feelings, okay? There's sharing your feelings, but it's about being in that vulnerable energy, whether you're sharing your actual feelings or not, where you're actually fully tapped in your body and your heart. You're connected to your heart moment to moment, instead of up here in your head where you're more dissociated, more disconnected. You're tapped into your heart, and then you're expressing in this feminine way so that no matter what you share, whether you're talking about your feelings or not, it's going to turn them on. Now, let's use a different example to even further illustrate this. Have you ever been turned on by a man who's really in his masculine energy? You can feel him just penetrating you energetically. You can feel that strength. You can feel that power. And you can also feel that care. You can feel that love. And it might not be talking about anything specific. And it doesn't have to be sexual in any kind of way. You're just having like a normal conversation. But you're really like trying to stay composed. You're getting really turned on. And it's not anything that is sexual in the context of the conversation. Though, got a few points here. So just that can turn you on by itself. So it's the same thing for a man, right? Like you're just sharing your heart, you're just in your feminine energy, it's going to turn him on. The other thing I will say though is a man could also be in that really strong energy, but there's like this sexual undertone. And that's going to probably turn you on a lot more. You can also have that undertone but you're not trying to turn him on in any kind of way. You're not penetrating him with it. You're actually just receiving and being receptive and being vulnerable. And you're connected to that energy as well. And that's going to turn him on even far more. That'll be like advanced femininity. Some women are actually very natural at being able to be in that energy without trying. For others, it's much more difficult. But the key is, a big part of that key is to be really tapped into yourself, tapped into your heart, and just have the basics of learning how to communicate in a feminine way using feminine communication. And that alone is enough. If you get really good at that, you will learn how to seduce without trying to seduce a man better than the vast majority of women on earth. You really will. Because most women are so disconnected from themselves. They're so disconnected from their hearts. And even if they're connected to themselves, most are afraid to show it, to be exposed in that way in front of a man. Because vulnerability, it's like you're emotionally naked, even if you're not talking about actual feelings. And so, the idea of stripping down naked physically with a man, that can bring up some level of anxiety for you. And the lights are fully on and you're fully sober and everything. Well, it's the same thing with being emotionally naked. And for most women, it's actually going to be far scarier because it's actually a much more vulnerable act to be emotionally naked with a man. But that's what's going to turn him on the most. So if that is something that interests you, if you want to learn how to do that, I'm not just talking about like to get a man into bed. Like a woman doesn't need to do that much typically in most situations to get a man into bed unless she's really disconnected from her self-worth in a relationship, and then a man might lose interest. It's not about that. It's about feeling a man's desire for you. That's what you really need. You need to feel that he desires you, that he wants you, that his heart is open to you, that he wants you physically, he wants you sexually, he wants you emotionally, he wants you as his woman. That's what we're talking about here. And you can live in that energy. Like you can live in a relationship where a man is feeling that towards you all the time. And also the sex is amazing. And you never ever have to initiate because you're just being you. You're just being your beautiful, vulnerable self. And he's having no trouble initiating because you're turning him on just by being you. How great would that be? That's what I help women do. So that you can have the relationship of your dreams. So you can have a man who is cherishing you. So he's taking care of you. I teach that in my masterclass. I teach that in our academy program. And if you are interested in working with me, make sure you go to the description below this video. And it's called The Dream Relationship. That's the link, www.thedreamrelationship.com. You click on that and I'll talk all about exactly how we can help you. And you can book a call with me if you're ready to book a call. But you can learn about exactly what I do first. Or if you're not ready for that big of a step yet, that's okay. Take our masterclass. We've got masterclasses coming every month. And what we'll do is we'll teach you this communication. We'll show you what it looks like. We'll show you how to use it. We'll role play it for you so that by the end of the masterclass, first of all, you'll have a huge amount of takeaways that you can start applying into your love life right away. But also, you'll be way more clear if you do want to take that next step to work with us in a bigger capacity. So we can take you from where you are right now to getting everything that you want in your love life. Go to the description below this video and click those links.